Hello, folks, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto Byte. Today is Tuesday, November 30th, end of the month here, and we are getting some pretty exciting price action to close the month. I'm excited about that. ETH is ripping to the upside. Definitely worth taking a look at those charts. We'll dive into that and a lot more today. But before we do, CJ, how are you doing today, my friend?
Doing well, Monty. ETH ripping to the upside, yeah, definitely. But Luna fulfilling its name by going to the moon, trading just north of $58 at a new all-time high. Equity market is a little bit down today. Dow Jones down about 0.6%, S&P down about 0.4%. So up in crypto, though, the crypto market is not seeming to care. But I'm excited to get into some stuff today, Monty. A lot of interesting news as well. Some out of Hedera from yesterday, so we'll get into that and much more. But how are you doing, my friend?
Doing well, doing well. Yeah, like you said, lots of interesting news to talk about today. We typically get some exciting price action at the end of the month. We're getting it today. Like you pointed out, ETH and Luna looking very strong. And I think what's maybe most important or most reassuring for me is, like you said, S&P not looking strong today, not moving in the positive direction. Yet we're getting some positive price action out of the crypto market. That's what I like to see, especially when you have a sort of hard sell-off like we had on Friday that kind of brought down both the traditional equity markets and the crypto markets. I'm very happy to see the crypto markets showing a bit of independence today. So we'll take a look at those charts. But yeah, you ready to dive into some charts, CJ?
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it. And folks, if you could please hit that like button, we really appreciate that. But without further ado, let's get into the charts. So Bitcoin, really nice hammer candle here. We've had a lot of trouble getting over this 20 smooth moving average with the trend consolidating on it. When we look at the oscillators, one thing in the RSI that I do want to highlight that I've kind of got drawn here are these various like divergences. So for instance, once we were, if we look at the previous trend, because these two trends, yesterday I referred to this as like the camel trend, right? Two previous humps, but they're very similar in their construction, very remarkably similar, in fact. And if we were to base this current outlook like where we were previously, we are kind of right in this territory right here, just prior to that consolidation before a breakout above that 20 smooth moving average. So really the turning point in last trend when we were able to recover after a downturn was a break from that bearish divergence in the RSI above that level. Now, when you look at it and try to do the same extrapolation in our current trend, we are coming very close to breaking that divergence and trying to have the trend actually come in and create a new higher high here in terms of oscillator momentum. So, I still think things are looking pretty bullish for Bitcoin, especially when the traditional markets are struggling to rally. I think that's a really, really strong sign because it shows, like Monty said, independence. Also, when we look at the MACD, like yesterday we had mentioned, last time, in our previous regression, once we went back down underneath the histogram and experienced that bullish cross, it was basically all upward momentum from that point on. We're starting to get something very similar. We haven't had the full-on bullish cross just yet, but it's getting there, and it's foreshadowing a move to the upside. And so between that and the break of this bearish divergence on the RSI, Bitcoin could trend pretty positively here for a while. I think 70K in December or even 75K in December is still very realistic. Depending on the force in which we break above this 20 smooth moving average, if we break above it. I do want to look at the shorts in the market, though, because we had a really prominent amount of shorts stack up a few days ago. And so I'm interested to see how much they've came down by But as you can see, some of these shorts are starting to cover, but we still have a vast majority left in the market from our recent uptrend in shorts. If we look, ever since the 17th of November, we've had a 400% increase in open short positions on Bitfinex. A lot of the whales really like to trade on Bitfinex, and that's traditionally been one of the places where kind of the larger players like to gather and trade. So it's interesting to see some of those shorts cover. Obviously, there's still a little bit more in the market. If we break above that 20 smooth moving average here in Bitcoin, things could get interesting. But that's what we're seeing from the technicals, Monty.
Good stuff, CJ. Thank you very much for that. I want to quickly just dive into ETH real quick because, like we said at the start of the show today, ETH is looking very, very strong here today, making a nice move, and that's on the back of 48 hours of positive price action. And looking at the ETH chart here, I think we have a clear range that's being established, as these critical levels. 4K was a critical level of both support and resistance. We got these Fibonacci retracements here. And as you can see, we're quickly approaching 4,800, which is, the previous all-time high. Also marks this Fibonacci level here. So we got some critical resistance coming in, but also that marks a, breakout level for Ethereum. And if we can break above this level, there is not any resistance for ETH until about the 6K level. So really, we're approaching some highly critical levels. The timeline is looking, pretty set for a December rally for ETH here. And one thing that I think also is a kind of a bullish factor if you take a look at the chart, and this was pointed out by a member in chat. I forget who it was. I think it was either Andrew or Brad Smith. Andrew, here we go. ETH dominance. I want to take a look at this chart because, like Andrew pointed out in our chat, we are breaking out of a critical level here for ETH dominance, as you can see. So, ETH dominance, this is just the percent of the total crypto market cap that is represented by ETH's market cap. We talk about Bitcoin dominance all the time. You can apply the same metric for ETH, and it kind of gives you a good instance or a good idea of where people are speculating, and what, portion of the market share is being dominated by ETH. And as you can see, 20% for the longest time, all year, even when ETH was showing strength, independent of Bitcoin strength, we were not able to get above this 20% dominance threshold. We retested it, on several occasions, coming just short of breaking above that critical 20% dominance level. But today, on a very nice clean candle, we are breaking above that critical level of 20% Bitcoin dominant or ETH dominance, rising into the range of 21%. And I think it's interesting that that kind of coincides with this breakout level here at 4,800. So definitely worth a look, given the fact that we're breaking out in terms of this critical level. We're approaching a highly critical level here in terms of ETH's price action. So right now, all signs are, pointing up for ETH. And we'll talk a little bit more about this on Doge of the Day, but if we look back and look at these periods of time when ETH was performing very well, we can get a pretty good idea of what assets tend to, move in tandem with Ethereum. So we'll definitely be taking a look at those in our Doge of the Day. But one thing, CJ, that I wanted to touch on that was also shared by members of our community this morning is a news piece. This is from Brad Smith here, and this is some news for Solana. Pretty interesting news. Grayscale is now going to be offering exposure to Solana. Solana obviously had a massive year, as did Grayscale. Lots of institutional interest entered into the crypto space this year, and as a result, they've been working to expanding their offerings beyond Bitcoin and ETH. And Solana seems like the obvious next choice, and sure enough, that has become available on Grayscale. So, definitely keep an eye on Solana. It's responding positively to that news already, but that's not too surprising given the price action we've been seeing from ETH. So, thank you to Brad for sharing that news in the room, and thank you to Andrew for sharing that ETH dominance chart. Lots of great insights being shared over there in the community. Just wanted to pass them on to you guys here in the Daily Crypto Byte, but I'll pass it back to you, CJ.
Thank you, Monty. Also, big news coming out of Hedera Hashgraph that I'd like to go over
Yes.
that we got yesterday. And this is with major South Korean banks. So the Shinhan Bank is going to conduct stablecoin remittances on the Hedera network in partnership with another multinational bank. So essentially, we have Shinhan Bank building a stablecoin remittance service on top of the Hedera network. So this is very interesting. It's great for enterprise use cases, and adding a massive multinational bank to the Hedera Governance Council. This is also on the back of last week when they added ServiceNow, who is going to be building on the Hedera network as well as a governance council member. So to see that grow and to see more entities kind of join that council is very promising for the future of Hedera. It kind of reminds me of this one instance with Algorand when they actually had the Marshall Islands decide to build a stablecoin payment rail on top of the Algorand blockchain. So this is not the first to occur. Like Algo, it's very similar to Hedera in this manner as well. But a lot of building going on in partnerships occurring, on the enterprise level for Hedera Hashgraph. So just thought I'd share that. Very interesting news.
Yeah, really interesting news, CJ. And tomorrow we have our weekly member webinar where we take an hour to go over questions you guys have, do a deeper dive into a lot of the things that we talked about on today's show. And one thing that I definitely want to talk about is kind of explore these various, chains and kind of see which ones are geared towards enterprise use cases, which ones are geared towards retail use cases, because I think we're starting to see a divergence in price action based on which way these assets are facing. You've been doing a lot of research and exploration into the Terra ecosystem, and obviously that one I think is an ecosystem that benefits from both retail and institutional speculation. So I'm really excited to talk about that tomorrow. Do a little bit of a deeper dive. I also know you're working on a course for earning a little bit of passive income with some yield farming strategies in Terra. All of that will be available to members of our community. So exciting stuff.
Yeah, I'm really excited, specifically with the Mirror protocol and being a liquidity provider for tokenized stocks that are backed with collateral of 200%. So it's actually safer than like a traditional bank provider when you have that much collateral actually posted, locked in smart contracts. So a lot of really cool stuff. And I'm not talking about like crazy APYs, like 150%. Sometimes like what you see on like some Binance Smart Chain projects, things like that. I'm talking more in the realm of like 30%, 35%. So I'm really excited to showcase that and do a little bit on the Mirror protocol as well. But overall, thank you to Voyager for sponsoring this show. Don't forget, you can get 10% interest on USDC and 12% interest on Polkadot if you hold it at Invest Voyager. And if you don't have an account yet, you can sign up with the promo code REBEL25 and get $25 free in Bitcoin when you fund the account with over $100. So make sure you guys do that. Also, if you'd like to go beyond just the Daily Crypto Byte and learn about Monty and I's daily picks and our trade insights on a weekly basis, you can check out the link in the description below, marketrebellion.com/try crypto, where you can try the first week for just $7. So we really appreciate that, guys. And we'll be in the crypto community room now. We'll head out. But Monty, any final words, my friend?
No, November was an exciting month. I think December is going to be even more exciting. And yeah, we're getting some exciting price action today. But like CJ said, we will be in the room. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day and take